So, I guess to first explain what's going on up here, I got a buzz cut yesterday because yeah, I don't know, hair is annoying. I'm gonna be honest. Also, my hair's really thin, like not thinning, but my hair's always been thin just genetically, and that's made me very not like it. And you know, for me, it was either grow it out really long, or just get rid of it. So I got rid of it. I mean, you know, it's not completely bald, obviously. Like, I could have gone like full on skinhead, but yeah, I wanted to see how it would look. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, okay. So today I want to look at very quickly. There's this video I watched called "Building a Language That Actually Feels Good to Use," right? And it's actually it doesn't have any views, so you know it looks like my YouTube algorithm is finally picking up on the fact that I like programming content and showing me some videos that aren't just AI news videos. I mean, I guess I get recommended this too, right? But what the fuck? So, sorry, I was just distracted by this. I might actually look at that later. But 5 minutes too, actually. Actually, yeah. When is CPPCon? Like, I assume this happens every year. Oh, wait, this is 2025. So this is an old clip. Save that from Hussein. Oh, what the hell? Okay. Right. Anyway, so in this video, this guy shows off his language that he's been working on. It's called Revo. I'm not going to show the video, but that's the source of how I found it. And this is the language. And I thought it looked interesting. It looks a bit like... well, actually, I mean, let's just look at it, right? So it's a dynamic language, first of all, made for the joy of programming, right? And I haven't actually... So, by the way, I haven't looked at this website yet. I was saving it for this video. But yeah, this joy of programming literally is... here as well, where Odin is a C alternative for the joy of programming, so that's funny. I also want to look at Odin more in depth later, but whoops. A 1 megabyte toolkit with much focus on ergonomics. 1 megabyte, okay. So it's on GitHub as well. Let's have a look real quick. It's got 47 stars, not bad. Like in terms of just how many people have seen it, I'm wondering. And it's coded in Zig. Okay, it's actually coded in Zig. So that's actually really interesting. Like, this guy's made a language from Zig. I definitely have to look into that later. Okay, so there's Discord as well. So let's have a look, because it looked quite interesting. So comp executes any really expected compile time. Any script can be compiled into bytecode and get any value baked in bytecode. Right, so it's dynamic. So it's like Java with like Java runtime, whatever. Where you compile to bytecode and then run it with an interpreter. I mean, I know Python has bytecode as well. But like generally, people just run it off Python scripts, right? Which is interesting. So revo b script.rv, and then revo script rvo. So rv is the scripts file, rvo must be the object file. The compile time VM does not differ from the runtime one. That's cool. Yeah. So I mean, you know, obviously someone. Okay, obviously, if you've watched my videos, you know, like I use C++ and Rust, and well, I guess I use like Haskell and stuff. But like primarily, I like to use systems programming languages, which are compiled. So I don't love dynamic programming languages, but obviously they are not without their usefulness. And I'd really love to have a language that's like Python for scripting, that is more, not necessarily like Python's powerful, right? Like any language is powerful if you give it enough features. But like really just make it like that's like nice to use, because I really don't like using Python. I find it really, I just don't like it, honestly. So yeah, I do wonder how other language could be better. Anyway, so let's actually look at some code here. As we put a build and keeps result to run, so you have const x equals comp read. So it's read for input a build. Okay, it's a bit vague, but okay. What's comp? At build time. Okay. That's interesting. Const pat equals, so pattern equals regex. So yeah, this. I mean, okay. I was going to say like, the code's a bit vague, but regex.compile, /s, okay, got some regex here to do. Const long equals do. Ooh. So okay, so is this like a lambda? In a way. I mean, not like a lambda, but more like a scope that's like executed and then returns it at the end. Yeah, it is. That's interesting. I mean, it's not really that crazy. Whoops. I mean, like you just can I disable this? Actually, no, I'm gonna keep it just in case. Like, is this like a like in C++ you'd use your square brackets. So obviously putting do and end is the obvious thing to do. But I wonder if that's is I think in Python. Now I'm genuinely curious. Probably Godbolt isn't the best thing to use for Python actually. Let's just use actual Python sandbox here. Like can I do print do hello end? No. Oh, can I? No. Okay. I assume not. Right. So what's the idea here? For let in 0, x in 0 to 100, t plus equals x. T. Okay, so we have two... Do we not have two like versions of x here? Like that's x there, and then we have x here. So is that shadowing or what? Or like are these just completely unrelated? Like I don't really understand what's going on here. Now we got piping, so clean data flow, that's nesting. Yeah, this I do like actually. So this is what really caught my interest, my eye, right? Because if you're writing this in C++, and I guess I'll just put up an example here. If you were to write this in C++, right? It'd be like print fn. Oh, what? Okay, this is weird. FNSS plus this. Oh, is it because it's like a lambda? Must be. Yeah, again, like it's not obvious, but I guess that's a lambda. So in C++ it would look like. Okay. Okay, I guess like this. Just forget the lambda. It makes it too much. Let's just do this string.sub. Yeah, so I guess it look like this. So hello. Assuming that dot syntax on this was allowed. Dot upper dot sub string, right? Whatever. I mean, the specific wording doesn't matter, right? Yeah, so it looked like that, right? And then because you have this, people may be tempted to just say, okay, sorry, let me make this simpler. Let me do like a standard string upper stir equals hello dot upper dot substir 04, right? And then like print upper substir, just because like this makes like this is less like cluttered, and so like it's just easier to like follow the eyes, right, to read this. Whereas for this it's like you have like this nested expression, which is like more like it's just hard to read. Whereas if you just make it so simple, where you just do hello, right, and then you just pipe. So what's pipe here? This and this. I don't know if I like that, but okay. Where it's just like what's this? So yeah, so it'd be, I mean, yeah, so it have to be standard string, right? in the case of C++. And like print, like standard print. Actually, ooh, would this be like this? No, it wouldn't do, would it? It'd be like this. Yeah, anyway. So like this... it's just so much easier to read than this. I feel like even easier than this, because like, this is like, okay, upper string, hello to subset, but like here we're creating a buffer, whereas here we're just like really we should be comparing these two, right? So printing hello to upper to substring 04. Okay, so it's like hell, right? But here it's like, okay, uppercase substring print line. I don't know. For me, it just feels really clean, and I do like it. And I'm aware that C++ does have piping for like ranges, where they use this operator. And yeah, like I do actually like it. It's a cool to program, I feel, and I haven't really had a chance to do that in any languages yet. Like I've never used a language that has piping like that. I don't know if Rust does. Hilarious. And you like this, I guess. It's not really what I mean. God damn, the code's going out, bruh. Is this valid? It's a macro. Yeah. So like, I guess you can with macros, but like it's not really what I mean. But yeah, I mean just having things natively, I feel like it's really cool. It's like definitely like a different way to program. But I do like it, cause I'm not a fan of I'm not really a fan of like functional style code, and I think in this guy's video he literally said as well that he's not a fan of like functional programming code necessarily, but like this pattern is just so clean, and it's just really nice, you know. And like I'm aware like you can do hello like a new line dot upper, a new line dot sub 04, but then like you can't like pipe like this stuff, you know. Like for that to work, like the dot piping syntax, you need to be able to run the function on dot syntax on the thing, whereas but that's different, you know. That's like that's more of like a monad chaining, right? Monadic chaining. I'm not a huge fan of monadic chaining. I much prefer this, because here like Jesus Christ. Monadic chaining is different, because like one thing is like returning the other, and then like you pass that, return the other, that pass that, return it. Like that's different. In here, what you're doing is you are just simply calling functions as if you were doing it like normally, with like wrapping the brackets around it, but then just putting it into an easier to read style, where you just have hello, and then you do string to upper, string to sub, and then like it's also more flexible because you can run any function on this as long as it takes strings as an, well, I guess as a first argument, right? So that's really cool. I think this is really cool for a language feature. Does Zig have pipes? Brainstorming. Okay, so this is an idea, which makes you assume it doesn't have it. So my thing is frozen. No. I mean, this is just not necessary at all. Because here, yeah, you just do this, right? Yeah, that's a terrible example. But this is cool, I think. I mean, okay, he's using like the at functions. It's more for just like normal functions, where like you have like a big chain. And like really, it's just, you know, syntactic sugar, which is why I would be surprised if Zig had it. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's just a really cool feature that sticks out to me, and I will actually. I want to put that in my notes. Oh, by the way, I've started using special workspaces on Hyperland, I guess is what it's part of. Yeah, cool. I can just super key O to open Obsidian, right? And like that go. I mean, the thing I don't like is that instead of switching to the workspace, it just goes over my existing one, which is a bit funky. I would prefer if it was just like a separate workspace that switched to it, as opposed to being an overlay. But it's fine, honestly. Can I even no? I can't like shrink it either, to like make it only show like a bit. So yeah, like I don't see how I don't see how the overlay part is useful. But anyway, so let me put this in. Oh yeah, so I was experimenting with this idea. I might make a video about it at some point, or a blog post, because I do wonder. I'll quickly just explain it now, just like briefly. Basically, I was thinking like in bed, whatever, you can kind of write any function as like the function name on an argument, and like maybe like if let's say you have multiple arguments like add 3 and 5, right? You do add 3 and 5 because like you're adding 3 and 5, those are your main arguments, so you add them both. Or maybe you have a different function, so like you have the main thing here, right? Like with print, you have your main string, your format string, so you're printing this with these other parameters, so like 3 and bar. Or I guess a better example now that I've seen this again. I want to see this whatever. Whereas before you would do like let's say like your substring. Oh, by the way, like this isn't specific to C++. I'm just using it as for the highlighting. Let's say I add a substring for yeah, I'll just reuse this guy's example 04, right? This could be written or rewritten, whatever. Also, I'm using Haskell just because, again, highlighting, it's not Haskell. It's probably a better language too I could use for this, but whatever. Instead, it was substring of hello, so like it reads more human, right? Hello. With, and then you do like start 0 and length 4, right? So something like this, right? So like in instead of doing like this, and like also like you could also to make this better, right? You could do hello as your main thing, and like some languages will do like start 0, length 4, and some IDEs will also expose this, right? And like this is honestly fine. Like this is what I want in every language, where you have your main parameters, like you don't have to specify them, their names, but then you have like this separation of like your main parameters and like your side parameters, where like the side ones are like information of how you're going to manipulate the main data, right? That's like what I mean. And like this is really good for this kind of stuff. It's also really good for flags. Like usually people have said, oh no, don't use like true and false for booleans. What? Okay, don't use booleans in your function parameters because like they're really vague. Like print true, you're like, what? Or like print hello true. It's like what, right? And like they said, like use an enum instead is one advice they can give. Like print hello, and then like the second argument is like print type new line yes or something. I don't know, whatever, right? But if you had named parameters in your function calls like this, so it'd be like again like hello and then like new line or has or like is new line, whatever, true, like that's much more clear. So yeah, this I want a lot. And I don't know why. I was really sad to hear that Rust doesn't have this, because it's just so useful. But anyway, this would just be like So anyway, I like this a lot. This is what I want. But this is like a cool idea. A cool idea where it makes it more human readable. Because like this is fine, like if you're used to programming, whatever. But this is nice, right? Substring of hello with start 0, length 4, and like like I could change this to like and here as well. Although I do prefer the comma for this part, and then having and for like multiple things, like there. Or maybe you could like hello pipe, like hello, and then like give start and length 4. I don't know. Like there's definitely ways that this can be done, but. Anyway, just a thought. So let me put this in here. Also, like I only recently really learned how to use pipes in on Linux. I mean, like I knew, like shocker. Like it's not particularly difficult, but like it is cool that you can do that. Oh, okay, he uses Ruby. Nice. Whoopsie. Oh my god, I have to get used to this thing. Okay. Yeah, so Arch recently got an update as well. Why is this here? Arch got an update where it replaces your config, the hyper config thing with Lua, and I took the opportunity to change some things. So I changed this. I changed some of my keybinds, so I think you have to relearn some muscle memory here. Inspired by Revo. Anyway, now I did realize, I guess this is also valid in Haskell. I have never used the pipe operator in Haskell, but it does look cool. So I really should have, like, if I knew that the map that these existed, piping existed, I would have used it like back when I did Haskell in in my university course, because it's honestly really good. Anyway, yeah. Okay, Jesus Christ, close. So that's pipes. Just avoids nesting, which is cool. Haskell gets around it as well with like its dot operator, but it's a bit different. So there was something else in my mind, but whatever. Then there are errors as values, nothing crazy new, but you can't use a value without handling an error. All crashes are explicit, work in progress. It did massively by pattern matching, question mark operator, or else, and unwrap. Yeah, when I watched the video, he mentioned a few different languages, like Zig and stuff. For some reason, he didn't mention Rust, even though I'm pretty sure Rust is the one that, like, popularized all of this, but anyway. F might be okay file contents or error IO error. Okay, so F stores it, that's normal. This syntax is probably inspired by Zig, right? I think Zig has named function parameters, but only if you do it like this, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know why you have to do that though. Yeah, Zig, I just have really mixed feelings on the Zig syntax, but I haven't used it yet, so maybe I'm wrong. Const unwraps, okay, and panics on error at top level. Top level meaning like the other function, I guess, if not handled. Crashes if error. By the way, this question mark operator is quite controversial because it makes it too easy to like diffuse errors into like the future. But as someone who's been using C++ with error types like standard expected and stuff, not having the question mark operator is such a hassle. Like I had to create a macro just to have like this functionality, and it only works on GCC and Clang, I think, because like the macro, like even the macro system is like too limited in C++ to do it properly. So yeah, it's annoying. Crashes if error, if you unwrap. Yeah, so nothing crazy here. Is this pattern matching? Special error pipes. Okay, this is funky. So if it's an error, it's this? No. Okay, so this is okay, this is an error. I guess? Yeah, I guess so. I said equal, but like, what's it? Stop being equal to anything. This is weird, man. Yeah, so this form of pattern matching, I don't like it. Because why are we using the pipe operator for pattern matching? That doesn't really make sense. Like, obviously, like it's like syntactic sugar, but yeah, why? What? Like, I like the idea of building syntax directly into the language so that you don't have to match against error types. Like you don't have to do like a match okay this and error this. Like I do like the idea that you can there's syntactic sugar specifically for that, but making it piping doesn't seem very intuitive. So I don't know why you do that, especially like with a pipe in and have like this thing. Like I don't understand that. Procedural macros. This lets you get an iterator over the raw AST tokens, run any code to transform them, and then return back a table of the new abstract syntax tree. So that's what this function does. Along with an AST substituting macro system. Okay. Sigma. So this is C multiply. It's a process. I don't know what the exclamation mark does. Mean. Sorry. I'm guessing that's for macros. Again, like proc macro, but it's not explaining He's not mentioning Rust in his video. Print inner add 3. Peak match. Okay, so it's proc macros. I haven't really used proc macros myself in what do you call it? In Rust. Like I haven't like learned how it works properly yet, but okay, I seem like that's that. Destructure and branch in place. You'll be using atoms and tuples. They have beautiful solutions to their problems. I actually don't like tuples, but anyway. So match okay error, panic. Huh? When is it ever not an okay or an error? That's weird. Const result equals okay for the unwrap. What? Why is that? Why is that there? It's just so jarring. Constant equals match hello, hi, x when x and 1 and 10, x when string. Oh right, so I think the question mark means like is it for booleans. I do like this idea of having question marks at the end of Well, yeah, I like the end of booleans. So like rather than doing is string, you can just do string. I think that's pretty cool. Although it doesn't mean that you can't use the question mark for too much else. Let f equals match read. Okay. First class tests. They're just closures, and they fail when you return an error. The question mark propagates the errors as well. Okay. So expect add 1 2 3 4 equals 4 to 6. Test / skip. Wait, hold on. Sweet add do. Right. Okay. So you have a sweet scope, and then you have your test inside. What's skip? Test or skip? He doesn't explain it here. Also, first class tests. Does that mean that you can like pass tests around? Like that's what first class means, isn't it? Okay. Everything is an expression, no statements, everything. No statements at all. So if statements are expressions, okay. Ooh, how's that work for control flow? I guess you just chain expressions, right? That's weird. Ooh, that's really weird. Because like in Haskell, everything's an expression, but then that also means that you can't just like chain things casually. But here we do have like actual procedural code. So like it says no statements, but like this is a statement and this is a statement. So like that's not true. Like anything on the other side of this equal sign is always going to be a statement anyway. Yeah, like you know what I mean? So like yeah, like you made if and else an expression, but you haven't like actually gotten rid of statements. Also, if I'm not wrong, Rust also has if else as an expression alongside the if statement, right? And you know, like so does C++ with the what's called the ternary operator, with like the you know the bool question mark thing, other thing, right? Like that. Whereas Rust just makes it if else inline. So my question is then, do if else statements if they're not statements, but then you can continue with a statement there. How's that work? And like, is let x equals 10 an expression too then? Because then it returns a value, but like returns it to where, right? Oh, okay, like here, let a equals let b. So then this is just like an expression that's being ignored. So then it's still a statement. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't really make sense. Return 5 plus 5 equals 10. Do n is an expression. Is it an expression? Because like there's return here. And like return is a statement, not an expression. It's like what's really going on? Tables. Lua's wet dream. Lua programmer's wet dream. Use for module exports, arrays, and maps. Module exports. Struct project. Let p equals project name equal revo. What? Rec set meta. Name equals function set version. What? What? Okay, I have no idea. Quick start, Zig version 0.16. What's it got now actually? $17. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Alright. Let's have a look at the basics then. So revo 1 minute, bindings, let, const, and global. I do like the lets. Well, actually, I don't like this. I like var and const. Let and const is bizarre. Global for global scopes, I guess, but I'm not a fan of those either. But like for a scripting language, I guess it's okay to have global like this. But I prefer if you just put it in the global scope. That's implicitly global anyway. Functions plus tables. Function add x plus y, x plus y. Sorry, xy is x plus y. So that's declaring a function. Okay. Points equals add ab. Const user. Right, so it takes these into scope here. Fn user. Oh, okay. So it uses colon instead of dot syntax. Name self. That's okay. Obviously, like it's kind of funky, but I do like that. I think. Also, why is there a function here? Function user name. Okay, I I guess the one thing I don't like is that I can't say user dot name. I just say user colon name. But here there's self dot points. So why is it like that? Also, I'm guessing this is a struct, right? But like a nameless struct. User colon name passing self. What's self? It's a function. What? Dude, this is so confusing. Function. So function for user colon name, where it takes self. What? Is it like creating like a setter? I don't understand. Pipes, very cool. By far the coolest thing I've seen so far. This is weird though. Empty upper. ASDF. I assume that's a typo and that should be commented out. Sub 1.2. Okay, so this is different from the home page because here you have to do like this colon this. I mean this is unnecessary actually. Yeah, no, this is just not necessary. To just have sub and upper be their own things, and then like you can remove that, which he did in his other example. So clearly this is outdated, but or maybe he changed it. I don't know. Although I see the home page is the most updated, but that's really interesting. Mr. Closure, const u1 user pipe u bump. Right. So if you pipe into a function. Even though like there's no like return statement or anything, it's just implicitly called anyway, which I suppose is fine. I mean, I guess same here, right? Like you're just calling print by is a name. You're not actually including the call syntax, which is fine. Makes sense. Go scope. Okay. Result values plus propagation fallback. Okay. So you got numbers. Right, so because this is a scripting language, there's no like int and like like different int sizes and all that kind of stuff. So you just have numbers, you have tables, but you do have structs, don't you? Or I guess you just call them tables. Hash map k equals v. Okay. Hash map dot x equals y. Dot syntax for that. So what's the difference between like dot syntax and colon syntax? I'm not really understanding that. Atoms, a function's very simple. It's one expression. Is it technically a one expression? I don't think it is, because this is not one expression by any stretch of the imagination. So it's technically not one expression. It's not technically one expression. Like I don't understand. A plus b. Okay. For multi-line, you do at end. Yeah, but like in Haskell, do syntax is syntactic sugar for like what do you call it, monadic chaining. This is not that, I assume. Functions are first class, no matter how it may appear. What does that mean? What do you mean no matter how it may appear? It also captures values from the outer scope. Okay. Closure is captured by reference. Can you make it not a reference? Like what I wanted to copy, can I do that? A function, all functions are anonymous, meaning you can put them anywhere. I mean, I guess you can just manually make a copy. Actually, yeah, that's interesting. What if you had a language, right, where in functions, rather, I keep looking this way even though my camera's here. What if you had a language where, rather than passing, like let's say I have, what's a good example? I don't know, man. Let's say I have like a function foo, right? Actually, you know what? Somewhere C++. How about we get some Rust in here? So like, let's say I have a function foo that has like a, I don't know, like a string argument. So actually, no, not even. I'm thinking way too much about this. Oh no, whatever. Do like a U32 and like an I U32, right? Suppose I had this, right? And it was like, actually no, Rust is a bad example. Apologies. Let's say I had, yeah, so a U32 foo with a U32A and a U32I, whatever, right? So let's say I had like a thing like this, right? And I did like for boom, I is more than 0, I minus minus, A plus plus, return A, right? Like this works because A and I are being copied here, whereas if I did like by reference, the hell? If I did by reference, it would mean that A and I are being mutated. If I did const reference, it would mean that A is not being mutated, it's just being passed by reference for like optimization purposes. But what if you could only pass by reference? What if passing by reference was the only thing you could do, right? So you either pass by reference or you pass by pointer is the other thing that would allow, but you cannot pass by value, right? And then if you want to, like let's say A and I here were implicitly references, and if you wanted to have copies, you had to just define new variables, right? So U32 A copy, right, whatever, equals A, and U32 I copy equals I. Like, what if you had to do this instead? Like, obviously it's like very, you know, what's the word? It's quite verbose, you know, quite a bit of boilerplate just to have values from my function that I've passed my things into. And I know also that like under the hood, like in assembly, you do pass by value, and passing by reference is actually just passing by pointer. But like, I don't know. I guess nah. I mean, like, so the idea here is that you just remove, like, I don't know, like you remove a feature since you can already emulate it through other features. But saying that, if you are the user passing in A and I, you have no idea that they're being mutated or not. I mean, I guess I can do const reference, right? So then you do know. No, yeah, that works actually, because then if it's const reference, or like let's say by default it was const, and then to make it mutable you have to like mute, right? But like let's say it was const by default, then I couldn't change it anyway. And then if I want to change it, I have to do mutatable. So then for the person calling the function, like if they can see it's const, then they don't have to worry about whatever. right? And they can even pass in. Oh, the thing is that you can't pass in values, can you? Like 32 is not a number. Yeah. Anyway, just a thought. Strings are like any other strings. Are they? Because strings vary quite a lot between different languages. Header, tuples, might be tested, operators, control flow, if and else statements, or their expressions in this case. See, this is just, yeah, whatever. Loop while for, okay, so loop block. Which language is it that has only one for loop? Or like one loop syntax? Why am I looking at this way? There's a language that only has 4 loops, and I can't remember what it is. Maybe it's Odin. No, but I haven't seen Odin. Huh? Okay, I think it misunderstood my request. What is there a popular programming language that only has four loops and no loop or while? No, Python has both. Oh yeah, Go. Was it Go? I swear there was another language I saw. Or like maybe I dreamt it, which would be crazy to dream that. But like, okay. Yeah, anyway, I found that interesting. But really, maybe it was Go. But like, you don't even need for a while. Like, in that case, in that case, you could just use loop, you know? Just say loop. I mean, like, I don't know, like, I guess pick your poison. If you do 4, it's like 4. But then, like, if you have like no condition, it's like what, like 4 true, which is like 4 empty. Like, it's kind of weird. Loop is like that. But yeah, like just having one word is quite appealing. But then you could argue that if you have separate ones, it's easier for the compiler, but also then easier for people reading it to immediately know what type of loop it is. But like even like C programmers used to, and some still do, right? How do I delete everything here? Like this, right? For like a while loop, a while true loop. Like these are pretty much identical, but like back in the day they weren't identical, but now they are because compilers have gotten better and whatnot. And it's like, well, if people already do this, do they really care about the different names? Like they probably do just want a uniform name, right? Like this is also equivalent to doing this. Like all of these are equivalent. It's just like which one do you prefer, you know? Or like do you prefer just having 4 like this, or while like this? I mean that just doesn't make sense. Loop is the only one that makes sense for this specific case, right? Because like for nothing just doesn't really make sense at all. Loop, you know, it's looping, that makes sense. But like, could you like a loop while, maybe? But then like that's just more for verbosity. Like loop for, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Matching, pipe operator. Have I just read this? Advanced, okay. Hold on. Propagation, okay, so test blocks, we saw this already. You can skip tests. Oh, so it's just like commenting it out, I guess. Okay. Or else fibers and channels. Fibers are cooperative, not preemptive. The main fiber runs first, and the run queue is first and first out. What? I don't know what this is. This is not a concept that I'm familiar with. Spawn. A plus B. 393. Huh? Is this like a threading thing? Like thread, fiber? Those are words that are similar? What? Threading, threads versus fibers. Threads are managed by the operating system. Okay, that's interesting. I haven't done much learning on threading. I've done some threading in my university course for computer systems, but not in like C++ or anything. Although I should at some point. I will when I get to like my deeper into my C++ library, like to optimize it, right? Its performance. Spot my XFBin library for parsing XFBin video game files, because I feel like threading can be good there, multi-threading. Like, you know, for like concurrency, or maybe threading isn't concurrency, in which case I don't actually know. Anyway, standard lib stuff. How do you get it? Just fs or open. Okay, so it's just there. So JSON, time, net, os. Okay, and eval. But this is revo.eval. Why not just eval? Imports. Okay, so you import like this. Okay, looks goofy, but not too unusual. Comp time. Cos limits equals comp this. Okay, macros and proc macros, right? Meta tables. Table behavior via meta method. So we saw this one before, right? Like toString. God, I hate this. Like syntax, like you have to do it like this. One reason I don't like Python is that like defining class constructors is so weird. Like I know it's like a minor thing, but it's just so weird. Like it's really off-putting. And obviously I care too much about syntax, but you know, sue me. Core docs. Okay, embedding in C. That's interesting. I wonder if he's on that. Zig, loading C functions. Let's have a look. This is C, right? Include revo.h. Revanil rsig. That's a macro, I assume. So these are exports, and then you can call them. That's cool. Yeah, how do you do this in Python? Actually, in Python, it's not this simple, is it? Or maybe it is. Let me ask Claude. How simple / difficult is it to export C functions to Python? Int add, yeah. So this is in the Python file. You can pilot, okay. fpic. From C types, import cdll and cint. Lib equals, okay, so you load it dynamically like this. Lib.add rest type. I mean, yeah, because Python is like obviously you can compile Python, but print lib.add 2.3. Okay, because there's this library, or not library. There's this project. Well, this one. It's called Aeroforge. Someone made it for ASBR. Kojo Bailey. It's a game that I have been modding for a long time, and it's very cool. But anyway, and like we've been waiting for ages for someone to finally, you know, create a toolbox for this game. I was planning to do it in Qt, C++, or maybe like something like in Rust maybe. But anyway, yeah. But like this guy beat me to it, and it's honestly great. Like it's amazing. He did so much and it's like so quickly, it seems, which was really impressive. But the only downside is that it's written entirely in Python, and like I said, I don't like Python, so. And like, I've also installed it on Windows, and it's definitely not the fastest application. I know like Python is like it's been optimized to be faster, but like ultimately it's just never going to be as fast as a compiled language, right? But or maybe I'm wrong, but like it makes you wonder, can some of these modules, right, Like rather than being defined in Python, could they be swapped out for C++? So that code is executed like really quickly. But then the thing is, rather than load it dynamically, like from an SO, it'd be at compile time. Or maybe this is compile time, I don't know. What about C++? Oh yeah, here. Okay. I can't tell this. I can't tell if this is. I cannot tell if this is compile time or not. I think SO is right. No, the runtime. Okay. C Python C extension, which gets compiled into a thing so that Python imports them like a normal module. What? Wait, so there's no static linking? What? That's rubbish! No way Python does not have static. That's such like a crucial feature to have. Python static linking with C. Wow, so you can't actually dynamic. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like it's just because static linking is faster, and it means that you don't have to port your code with, you know, like you don't have to release your application with like these imports, DLL or whatever SO. Yeah, I don't like that. Oh well. Anyway. But this does have static linking. Actually, I can't tell if it does or not. I think it's dynamic. Yeah, shared library at runtime. No! God damn, that's so annoying. Oh well. And macros. Yeah, I don't care too much about that. Right. Anyway, cool. That was Revo. Cool website too. Actually, I didn't mention that this does look quite nice. I mean, yeah, like I like the theme. I mean, I think this is a Grubhub or something, but like Grubbox. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, this guy's on Wiki. What's that about? Registers. Oh, last search pattern is question mark. Ooh. Yeah, I need to really review my registers for NeoVim, just like make like mostly for like copy and pasting, just to make that more efficient. Void cheat sheet. Okay. Anyway, that was Revo. There are other languages I want to look at, but yeah, that's that for this video. So anyway, so yeah, quite interesting. Just wanted to look at that. I said quickly, but it's already been like almost an hour because, you know, my body is a machine that. What? My body's a machine that turns 10-minute thing into hour thing. Anyway, subscribe for more languages.